Hello, America. Welcome to the Wednesday night special. Tonight, a sit-down conversation with a very famous individual. Some would say infamous. It's amazing to me how we are no longer allowed to make a decision or make a judgment about something unless it first is filtered through the lens of politics. That's concerning to me because that is a world where justice cannot be served. Justice cannot happen. Right now, there's a lot of people that think that Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. There's a lot of people that think he's a villain. I don't think he's either. I think he is a kid that tried to do the right thing in his point of view, got caught up, made mistakes, and then became Kyle Rittenhouse. What does that even mean? Tonight, I'd like to try to pursue justice and really think about things outside of the world of politics. Kyle Rittenhouse joins me here on Stage 19 right now. Kyle, we met 30 seconds ago.
Yep.
And I don't know what I'm in for, and I want you to feel comfortable. I'm not.
Yep.
I'm not retrying the case or anything else. I want to get to know you and how some of these decisions were made. First, tell me who you were August 24th, 2020, before you went down.
August 24th.
20th.
20th.
Yeah.
August 20th, I was a normal 17-year-old kid working 3 jobs to help my single mom, to help put food on the table and help her pay rent, helping support my family.
You work at 3 different places, and you actually do help pay the rent and everything else for your mom?
Helped pay for food and rent.
Okay. So you had to be, and you're still going to school.
No, I dropped out to help my mom with paying the bills and stuff.
Wow. And so then you start watching TV, your friends start talking about it. What happens that draws you into what's happening in the neighbor state?
Well, I was a member of Kenosha. I knew what was going on.
Because your dad lives there, right?
My father lives in Kenosha,
Yeah,
so
okay.
Kenosha was my community, so
Okay.
I knew what was going on there.
Okay. And you decided to grab a gun to protect yourself and go and help bring aid, right?
So the owner of the car stores wanted help protecting his business, and me and Dominic said, yes, of course. And I can't carry a pistol. I could only legally carry a rifle. So I was like, well, I'm going to bring my rifle for my protection, not to protect the property or anything, but for me, along with my medical kit and trauma box to help provide first aid.
So I have to ask you something that I, as a dad, have thought about an awful lot. Did you ask your mom and dad if this was a good idea or a bad idea?
I did not.
You didn't. So they didn't know you were going down?
No.
Did you get in trouble with your mom and dad after?
I'm sure my mom would have been mad. It was pretty, trying to think. She was more upset what happened, that I was attacked and had to defend myself.
Okay. And it wasn't a usual, it's not like you came home, there were so many other circumstances that would have changed that. But I would imagine if you would have just come home and none of this happened, your parents would have...
I'd probably been grounded.
Yeah,
if that would have
probably
happened.
been grounded. I heard you say here with Elijah and Sydney that you think going there was in hindsight, a pretty bad idea.
Hindsight 2020, if I knew that I would have been attacked and I would have had to defend myself, I would not have gone there. Hindsight being 2020.
And do you want to be an EMS guy? what did you want to be, or what was your plan of what you were going to do for a job down the road? What were you?
I wanted to be a firefighter EMT because I just enjoy helping people and helping the community and people in need.
Okay. And so you kind of had that built into you?
Yes.
And you weren't somebody out looking for trouble. I hear you were really into garbage trucks. Is that right?
Well, before this, I used to film garbage trucks with my buddy and post it on YouTube.
Why?
I don't know. It was just interesting. He got me into it somehow because he had like an internship with like a garbage company, and I would help him with that, and then we would just take videos of it.
Okay. So you were a typical kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was thinking about you coming here today, and assume you flew in.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know when I fly, there's always this moment where before I come around and I'm looking at the people sitting in the seats, I think, am I going to sit next to somebody who doesn't know me, which is great, does but is a super fan, and that's not so great, or worse, thinks they know me and is going to say horrible things. What is your life like going out now? What was your plane ride like?
My plane ride was interesting. I usually sit by Dave or LT, the people who have been with me from the beginning and helped mentor me. I usually sit by one of them, but one of the flights I sat by somebody and they didn't talk to me, but the flight attendant said hello and complimented me and was very nice.
Are you recognized everywhere you go?
Essentially, most times.
Good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't really like getting recognized out because I like to do my own thing, and like I'd like to walk into a Starbucks and get my latte without being recognized.
Yeah. And you are, let me ask you this question. How's your mom doing?
She's doing good now. She was very stressed during the trial and before.
How is she making payments on the house and everything else without you helping out?
So people who donate at freekyleusa.org, the generous supporters who help pay for living, legal expenses, and security.
When you went down there, if the police would have been handling this like they normally would have, if they weren't letting all these towns burn to the ground, do you think you would have grabbed your gun and gone down?
I don't know.
But you say you went down because the car lot wanted help, and you were seeing. Here's what I'm trying to ask you. There's something called the Thebubba effect. And the Thebubba effect happens when the government hasn't done their job and regular people just go, well, if nobody's going to stop this, I will. If nobody's going to help, I will. And so the average Bubba goes in and does the job, sometimes wrongly, sometimes rightly, that the law enforcement or the government should be doing, but they no longer see them as an effective force. Was that you?
No, I wasn't thinking about that when I went down there. I was just like, I'm just going to go help people. That didn't cross my mind actually at all until you just mentioned that.
When this happened, and I heard your testimony, and it was, if I could give a gift to everybody who thinks they know about this trial, I would give them the gift of immediately being able to download and watch the entire trial, because things happened in the trial that were shocking. I've never seen before. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've never seen a trial like yours before. When you said in the trial that you were running to the police because you knew you didn't do anything wrong and you just shot somebody.
Yeah.
So you're running to the police. When did it become apparent to you that you were in real trouble?
When I was first attacked, that's when I knew, when he tried to steal my gun and I couldn't get away any further.
But I mean, you were out of danger, but now you were in trouble legally. When did that? Because you were approaching the police, going to the good guys, going, I just did something and I know it's not good, but I'm in the right, correct?
I went to the police and said I just defended myself, and they told me to go home. And then when I noticed I may need to hire some lawyers is when I got Mirandized.
When was that?
At Antioch Police Department.
How long after?
Several hours after the incident.
Mom and Dad there yet?
Mom was with me there.
What was that like when you realized, wait, what's happening?
I was terrified. I was scared. I was still in shock from what happened, and I was throwing up, and I felt sick.
I don't want to. I'm not looking for gory details. What I am looking for is, I've thought a lot about you watching the trial. I thought a lot about you over the last year. I think a lot of Americans have, one way or another. And I thought, my son's about your age, and I cannot imagine him in this position. The nightmares that most likely occur, and twofold. Do you, I mean, it may not manifest itself as a nightmare, but do you still have the fear of the chase? Does that still come to you in some way or another?
Yes, sometimes I'll be laying down and reliving what happened, and it can be very scary what I went through, and my heart will start pounding and I'll start sweating.
And I ask you this because of the way you have answered it in the past. I know, well, let me just ask it. How often do you not think about killing someone? How often? I mean, what does that do to you after you've pulled the trigger and didn't? I mean, you're not a bad guy, and you're defending yourself, so you have a right. But what does that do to you?
The nightmares at night that keep me up, not getting any sleep and just waking up screaming sometimes of what happened.
And what is the nightmare?
What could have gone different, sometimes what happened, sometimes me being killed. Like what could have happened if I did let them take my gun and shoot me.
Have you had to have much therapy?
I do. I see a therapist.
So you find out that you're being Mirandized, and I'm assuming you're thinking, oh boy, now I've got to get attorneys. But I want to turn the conversation now to the press, because I don't think you would have seen that. We'll do that in a minute. Your life changes in a minute. And I think I can relate to that, and you will be able to relate to that. The Fed came out recently, and they admitted that, it looks like inflation is real and persistent, here to stay. It's not transitory. When this really hits, I know you're feeling the pain right now, but when it really hits, it's going to change your life in an instant. I would really like you to call Goldline and find out if just putting 10% of what you have, your 401k or your IRA, just 10%, no more than that, put that into precious metals. Right now, this week only, Goldline is offering a free 2-ounce silver Maple Flex bar with qualifying purchases of $5 gold Indians. Call Goldline, 866-GOLDLINE, 866-GOLDLINE or goldline.com.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the armed teenage vigilante.
A 17-year-old vigilante, arguably a domestic terrorist, picked up a rifle, drove to a different state to shoot people.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a guy who's deeply racist, went with weapons to a Black Lives Matter protest looking to get in trouble. He did. He murdered a couple of people.
So when does this start? When do you start seeing, oh my God, this is turning into something? I'm not that guy. How long did it take for that to start?
From what I remember, what I was told, it started right after the event, within minutes, and then I learned about it a couple months later when I got bailed out of jail.
And what does that do to you?
It makes me disappointed in our media because journalists are supposed to be honest and tell the truth and the facts, and that's just not what's going on there.
What was jail like?
It was interesting, scary at some nights, very cold. You have to watch your back, but I made acquaintance there. I'd play spades at the juvenile detention center, and then at Kenosha County Jail.
Are you a tough guy? I mean, in real life, if you
no.
Yeah, you don't seem like it. That would be to me. Just that would be terrifying. They're still saying these things.
They are.
I'm assuming you expected that to stop after the trial, or did you not?
I was hoping it would, but I knew it wouldn't because some of these media organizations are just going to want to push their own agenda.
Or did you do much thinking about the justice system in America or anything? Because you're not real political, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Did you do much thinking about the justice system before you got involved?
No.
Do you believe in the justice system now?
Not really now.
Why?
I believe there's a lot of corrupt prosecutors out there and a lot of district attorneys that try to take advantage of people.
When you were talking to your attorneys and everything, I mean, even the president came out against you. Joe Biden did. And you knew that at the time. The prosecutor is telling a story that you didn't agree with. You were like, no, that's not it. How alone did you feel? Did you think you were going to be able to get a fair trial?
I was hoping so, but I didn't know going in there. It was probably one of the biggest fears I had going into trial. I didn't know if the jury will look at the facts and the evidence of what happened, or they'll listen to the lies told by Assistant District Attorney Banger and Cross.
Did you watch the jury at all?
I did.
And what was your feeling?
They were disgusted in the state. That's what I got from the things the state was telling them, but every witness and piece of evidence showed the opposite.
Did you know that they were going to put people up on the stand in prosecution that would say, no, it was self-defense?
I didn't.
Did your attorneys know that?
No.
Did you walk out of the courtroom with your attorneys at some point and have them go, I can't believe this? Did they give you any indication that was like highly unusual and good?
Me and my attorneys talked and were like, the state, it looks bad when the state calls a witness that says the opposite of everything they said.
Right. You had to have had a fear of, you don't want to jinx things and think one thing. But were you cautiously optimistic as the trial went on?
I was hoping for the best outcome, but what I did was I would just I would go each day by day and not worry about the next and just I would say to
It's
myself,
pretty hard to do even as a person my age.
I would say to myself, whatever happens tomorrow, everything will be okay.
Did you believe yourself?
I did.
Are you religious at all?
I am.
How much of a role did that play in?
It really helps me being able to pray and talk to God. I pray every single night, and I never prayed to get acquitted. I always prayed for the strength to get through whatever happened.
I think I would have prayed to be acquitted too, but maybe that's just me. The president ever call you to apologize?
He hasn't, and I would like to sit down with the president and have a conversation with him and tell him the facts of what happened.
I don't expect that to happen, but it would be right for him to do it. Has anybody from the media organizations, has anybody honest come to you and go, you know what? I really thought this, but I was watching that and I was wrong. I'm sorry.
I haven't noticed anything from the media, but Bill Ackman, a really great guy. I had a Zoom call with him the other day.
And who is he?
He does banking stuff.
Okay.
Out of New York.
Yeah, hedge fund guy.
Yes.
Okay.
And he said, I watched the trial and I was wrong, and I support you now. I'm sorry. And it was just a great phone call.
What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot to me that people are willing to sit down and talk to me and understand, and they'll watch the trial and then they'll look at the facts. It means a lot.
Is there was there anybody that was just tried and true? And I mean, because you were a dumpster fire. I mean, anyone putting their name next to your name, you had no idea. Black Rifle Coffee, you have no idea how this thing is going to turn out. Was there anybody that really stepped up and was there for you the whole time?
Dave Hancock, LT, Jill and Demetris, my attorneys, my family, everybody in my circle. They've been with me from the beginning, and they've helped mentor me, and they really stepped up, cutting into their own personal life to help me, which just means so much to me and my family. I'm so grateful for everybody that's taken their own time, especially LT and Dave, who spent the last several months with me away from their own families to make sure that I'm safe and that everything is okay, and helping us with all of the stuff that is going on. It just means so much, and it means the world to me.
Your family closer than ever before, I would imagine?
Very, very.
Yeah. Did anyone that you thought would always be there betray you?
My aunt.
I did not like necessarily for names, but I mean a situation.
One of my family members, my aunt, when it happened, she started talking very bad about me on social media and saying to the other family, and everybody stopped talking to her because she wouldn't pay attention to the facts of what happened. And that really hurt me, coming from my own family. I was very disappointed and upset.
It may seem like a relief to you, and it would be. I mean, I watched you collapse. I mean, I could just feel what you were going through. But now what? I mean, do you think you're going to be able to go back and be, I mean, we've talked about just how people treat you and you're famous, but Arizona, you're an online student at Arizona State, right?
Correct.
They didn't even want you online because you would make them feel unsafe. Where are you going? What are you going to do now?
I'm going to go in person in Arizona State University because that's where I want to go. And
they say you're not enrolled now.
I'm not enrolled in any classes, but I'm admitted into ASU. I took a compassionate withdrawal for my classes because of trial.
Okay. So you're going to, they didn't even want you online. You're just going to show up on campus?
That's where I want to go. I don't want people to control what I do and go to school. So I think I have as much as a right as anybody else to get an education and go to a school I want to go to.
I saw some people say, you know, he could be an ex-congressman or whatever, but you don't strike me as a political kid.
I don't like politics. I don't know anything about them really, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And it's just something I don't want to get involved in.
Right. So, but we live now where everything is political. It shouldn't be this way, but it is now. How are you, I mean, how are you going to navigate that at ASU?
Like I say to anybody who asks me about politics, look, I'm not interested. I don't know about it. I don't study or research politics stuff, so I can't talk about, I don't answer to that stuff because I don't know. So just staying out of it and be like, we can talk about my dog if you want.
What are you going to take?
I want to be a lawyer now. I want to be a criminal defense attorney and help people. And I want to go up against prosecutors, and I want to help people have a good defense.
But you didn't want to do that before.
No.
That is just from this.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Back in just a minute with more Kyle Rittenhouse. I might, if I have a second, talk to Kyle about his dog, Milo. He's usually with him, but not here today. If you're a dog owner like he is, like I am, taking care of your dog means more than just doing the right things for him, giving him food and water. He's an important part of the family. He's not a pet. He's a part of the family. And if you view your dog that way, then I'd like you to try Rough Greens. The Rough Greens changed Uno's life for the much, much, much better. He used to be the pickiest eater ever. We could never get him to gain any weight. Now he can't wait to get his bowl every time we feed him. We feed him the same stuff, but we put this supplement, which is Rough Greens, on top of whatever it is you feed your dog. And he loves it. And it has all kinds of vitamins and minerals and probiotics and antioxidants. And at 11 o'clock at night now, he's a 10-year-old German Shepherd. That's really old for a German Shepherd. And he's coming up to my bed at 11 o'clock at night, nudging with ball in his mouth, nudging my hand. Come on, let's play. They become puppies again. It's great. And you can get a free bag of Rough Greens for your dog to try out now. Just pay for shipping, roughgreens.com/Beck. 833-GLEN33, roughgreens.com/Beck. I know you were palling around with a dog now.
So Milo, he helps me with everything that's going on. I've got a lot of funny stories about him. He has a little bit of a sensitive stomach. He's at home sick right now.
You should be the one with the sensitive stomach. He should be helping you through all of that.
Yes. Yeah. But he's a great dog. When I first got him.
You got him because of all of this?
I did. I got him as a puppy. He was donated to me. And when we were driving back from the place, he vomited all over me. And I didn't want to clean it up. And Dave was like, well, you got to clean up your dog. That's one of the responsibilities. I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
So he vomited all over me. And I was like, oh. And had to clean that up. And here's a really funny one. I've never told this one before. Me and LT were walking through the airport.
Who's LT?
LT is my mentor who protects me. He gives me advice. He tells me stuff.
How'd you find him?
I met LT through Dave, and Dave's been with me from the beginning. And Dave asked LT if he could come and watch over me and make sure I'm safe, and LT did. And he's just a great man who has helped me. He's helped me grow so much, him and Dave, and making me the better person I am today.
That's good. So the funny story that you were walking with LT.
Yeah, so we were walking through the airport, and I took Milo to the pet relief area, and it smelled too bad, so I didn't let him go to the bathroom in there, and he got all the smells and everything. And so he was walking through the airport, and like it was almost like how a horse uses the bathroom.
Yeah, I've had that happen. Did you stop and clean it up?
I almost freaked out, and I wanted to run, but I did.
You stopped and cleaned it, yeah, because that just happened to me last Christmas with my dog, and I have a German Shepherd.
Really?
And it was not pretty. It was not pretty. It was after a long flight, and he just couldn't hold it any longer. And I was like, they were like, we'll clean this up. I'm like, no, it's my dog, please.
Thank you for making me feel better about that, Glenn.
No, I felt very alone. I felt like nobody else is happy.
Yeah, it was very embarrassing.
Yeah, I bet it is. I can't get over how much you look in person, not physically, but age-wise. You are my 17-year-old son. You should be kissing girls and going to the movies. How long has it been? Did you have braces?
No, I haven't.
You didn't? Okay. You are a kid. Are you going to be able to get any of that stuff back?
I hope so. I hope I get to live a normal life. I'm hoping college will do that for me, to where people would just treat me as a human.
Would your old jobs take you back if you went back?
I'm not sure, but I don't plan on it. I don't plan on going back to Wisconsin. I plan on staying up in Arizona by the campus and going to school there.
You have friends going there?
I have one friend that goes to ASU.
And it's not, because
it's been my dream school for a little bit because of the beautiful weather. And
it's great. You'll love it.
Scottsdale and Tempe are just so beautiful. Yeah. Same with Phoenix.
Yeah. You'll never get to those other two, but Tempe, you will get to Tempe because it's horribly clogged. It's like Los Angeles trying to get from one place to another. But ASU is beautiful. It's really beautiful.
We went to the campus about a week and a half ago. And we walked around, we got a tour, we took some pictures.
Did you go with the rest of the families, or did you go by yourself?
It was just me, Dave, and LT. And
they treated you?
They were very, very nice there. The staff, the professors, they were very professional and kind.
So, do you think if there weren't cameras in the courtroom, and there weren't cameras at the scene, things would have ended the same way?
I don't know. I would hope so. But if there wasn't any video of what happened, the state may have got away with painting their false narrative.
Do you ever think about how many people who aren't guilty have probably gone to jail?
I do. I do think about that a lot. How some prosecutors prosecute innocent people just because they want to get their name and their win record up, and it's just.
You feel that's the way this prosecutor was?
I do. It's very disheartening and disturbing.
So what is justice?
Justice is two different things. Justice is if a bad guy does get convicted, I consider that justice also. But another part of justice is like, I got justice. I was acquitted. That's also another part of justice when you're found not guilty because it was the correct verdict.
But is that justice? I feel like justice hasn't been done because nobody has, a bad guy gets convicted. In this case, the bad guy is a lot of different places. The bad guy is the one smearing your name, the one who is still today shouting that you are a white supremacist. Have you ever been to any Klan meetings or? Yeah. No. You don't look like, and you're not up in the mountains in Idaho or anything trying to white power. None of that is you.
No.
Yeah.
Sickening people that do that.
Yeah. So they're still shouting this. And it feels like justice, you got justice. You gave me a lot of hope. Your case gave me a lot of hope that still, with all of this, a jury can come to the right decision without politics involved. That's the first thing that had to happen. The second thing that has to happen is bad guys need to pay for the crimes. And who are the bad guys in this?
The people who hurt my family and lied about me, making it unsafe for me and my family to go to the store. And I'm thankful for my lawyers who are working on stuff.
The prosecutor, see a bad guy?
I think he's a very corrupt, bad person.
Are your lawyers thinking about stuff regarding that?
Really good lawyers are involved,
Okay.
working with everything involved.
Okay. And, I keep thinking, I know ASU is a place you want to go, but why don't you just sue the media and then buy Harvard? I think that the lawsuits against the media are not only right. I'm not a suing guy. I hate lawsuits. Are only right and righteous, but they are absolutely necessary if we're gonna survive. Do you agree with that?
Well, one thing is I think my education is the most important thing over anything. And I believe I can help more people as a lawyer instead of doing that all the time. Because I'd rather help people. Helping people is my passion.
Right. But suing the media, will that take a lot of time off of your out of your schooling, or you have a good team that can take all of that? Are you going to sue the pants off the media? That's what I want to know.
We're going to focus on our one fight we're dealing with right now, the guy who's been lying, Lynnwood and John Pierce. We're going to focus on them right now, but maybe down the line in the future, we don't know yet, but we're going to focus on those liars.
Well, I said the minute you were found innocent, I was streaming live, and I could see the tension. By the way, your attorney, I don't know if you saw him, but he was sitting next to you, and I was like, stop, this isn't helpful for Kyle. He was like, breathing deep, and I'm like, no, show some confidence, because you're not the one going to jail. Kyle is. But I watched you, and I could feel what that, to some degree, what that must have felt like. And quite honestly, I said at the time, I'll help fund that. I think I have millions of people that will help fund that, because it's vital that people who twist the facts and are still it's one thing twisting the facts bad enough. It's the next, when the trial was that clear, for them to continue to call you a racist, continue to call you a vigilante. That has to be taken care of. Has to be.
Yeah.
And it will be?
We've hired really good lawyers,
Okay.
and they're really good people helping do this everything.
Okay, good. Well, if you need to raise funds to do it, I will gladly help you do it.
Thank you, Glenn.
All right, back in just a minute. I'm going to be real honest with you. Do you know why I wear this? Because I'm fat, and it hides my fat neck. You might not looking at it. You might not like looking at it, but if I don't wear it, then I'm looking at my fat neck, and then that's all I can think of. Because I like candy, I like cake, I like donuts, I love cookies. Oh my gosh, I love cookies. I love pie, ice cream. Oh, yeah. I love it all. I love it all. And none of those things are good for me. That's why when I found Built Bars, with all of that goodness and God-given sweet flavor and all of those other things, but they're really low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat, I figure I could eat even more of them than I should. Built Bars, they're great. They're good for you. They taste fantastic. Order them now. Beck15, get 15% off. I should have asked you what Lynnwood is doing, why he's the first target, because I'm not following Lynnwood. Can you give me any indication of what he's doing?
I don't want to talk much about him other than he's a liar and he's putting my family in jeopardy. We're getting death threats because of the lies he's saying. And
okay. All right.
That's
all right.
Just disturbing.
That's fair. That's fair. If you could get Americans to understand one thing about you, what would it be?
I'm an 18-year-old, well, I say kid, man.
Yeah.
I'm an 18-year-old person who just wants to go to college, get an education, take care of my dog, love my dog. Mm-hmm. He's a beautiful dog. And just be a contributing member to society.
And not in public life. I mean, like an attorney, but not. You want to go back to being a private citizen?
I do. I want to be able to live a normal life like anybody else does.
You know, in Europe, they have the right to forget. Did you know that?
They do. I didn't know that.
So the right to forget is an internet law that says after so many years, I have a right for people to forget me. And so, because if I look something up about you or you look up something about me, things that happened 30 years ago are still there and they're just as fresh as they were. And you have a right to forget.
I wish that was in the U.S.
Yeah. I took this off of my my stand because my studio radio. I carry this with me and I keep it right by my microphone the whole time. And I wanted you to. I thought you might appreciate it because you're going to have a lot of people that want to tell your story or want to do things, and a lot of pressure is going to come from money. This is a silver coin that was in circulation at the time of Jesus and Judas.
That's beautiful.
It's a silver coin. That's 30 of those is what they sold Jesus for. Wow. Judas. That was a coin just like that, 30 of them.
That's beautiful.
And it reminds me all the time of don't sell out who you are for money or fame or anything else. So far, I haven't seen anything that's not consistent with who I think you are. Just be careful, because there's a lot of people that would like to make you into one thing or another.
Definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I asked you at the beginning who you were before. Today, who are you now? And what is the biggest lesson you've learned?
I'm just a 18-year-old person who is trying to live a normal life and prepare to go to college in next spring semester. And the biggest thing I've learned from my mentors, LT and Dave, is to always be humble and always be humble.
May I just add to this, just to help you out in further times, in case your mom and dad ever ask? Don't bring a gun to any kind of event, especially when you're a teenager. It might make your family feel a little better if you say, you know, Mom, the biggest thing I learned, shouldn't have gone with a gun. Shouldn't have gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How long are you going to continue to do interviews, do you think?
Well, until everybody else in the media gets my story right and I can people can be like, realize I'm just a normal human. That's what I want people to know. I'm not this person that I'm being accused of being.
I hope that happens quicker, sooner rather than later, and change the way we deal with stories in the media. One last thought. Will you ever pick up a gun again?
I don't know.
What is your view of guns now?
I believe everybody has a Second Amendment right. I believe in the Constitution.
Have you touched one since?
I haven't. But other than the museum,
Yeah.
I saw your guys' beautiful museum, and I was looking at your very old weapons you guys had.
Yeah, from the Revolutionary War.
Yes.
Yeah. So they don't scare you at all?
No.
Good. Kyle, thank you.
Thank you so much, Glenn, for having me on.
You bet. I want to remind you again where we were in the summer of 2020. It was mayhem. Between May and June, there was a record-setting $2 billion in damages caused by the street riots. Beyond the looting and destruction, some of the chaos resulted even in murder. One man was shot and killed in Kentucky. Also in Kentucky, 2 cops were shot. Minnesota, a black pawn shop owner was shot and killed. There were police-free zones, autonomous zones that were popping up all over. Lawlessness was breaking out, and the media was just reporting these are peaceful protesters. It wasn't. We all knew that. That resulted in the death of a teenager in Seattle and the rule of law being thrown out the window. Police were being told to stand down, and we are paying for that today. We were left to the wolves, and many Americans felt like, what? I mean, is anybody going to do anything? He did, because he said he wanted to help. Let me just say this. If you ever get into a situation where you're not directly involved and you think, I've got to go help, but I'm going to go grab my gun, you might want to think twice and then think 2 more times after that. We have to have spines of steel. We have to stand up. But he's a really good example. I'm sitting here listening to him. He's a kid. And even a kid can be turned into a monster with this media. More on radio tomorrow. Good night, America.